Yes, I'm bullish for 2026. And today, I'm going to explain you why. And I'm going to tell you why I'm not afraid of the correction and why I'm more bullish for 2026 than I ever been this year. So thank you for being here. My name is Pedro Silva. I'm in crypto since 2017. I've been doing content in YouTube since 2022. And today I'm here talking about the market and doing what my audience likes to call the therapy sessions. And today, I think it will be a good one. I know probably some of you are looking for the red button, thinking on to sell. And I'm going to tell why I'm not selling, what my strategy has been since 2022, and why I think 2026 is going to be a good year. So subscribe to the channel, leave the like button, and let's start with this, okay? And I will start to tell you something about me, okay? I'm not afraid of a depression in the market. I like to buy the depression. I like to buy when everyone says that altcoin X is dead. And that's been my strategy since 2022. And today, with all this drama, you can call it luck, you can call it whatever you want. I have a green portfolio. So let's dive first on what's happening for 2026 that's making me bullish. And then I'll tell you what's my strategy have been. I'll give you some examples so that you can see why, with the drama that I have, with the drama that the market is facing right now, I'm not afraid. And I'm really calm. And I sleep well at night. And that's the most important thing, is that you can sleep well at night. So let's start. And I want to start this with this year, okay? I've been saying since the beginning of 2025 that ETFs would have a major play on the altcoins. Yeah, I'm a big altcoin believer, and I will be, and I'll explain you why later. So, like I was saying, I was a big believer in altcoins. I've been always saying, look, in January, the market told us what we want, okay? Told us what they are looking for. And right now, we are seeing the ETFs, the altcoin ETFs, having major volumes. I think you can see it better like this. Major volumes, okay? And now, yesterday it was announced the 2x ETF. It's the 74th crypto ETF from this year. And we are expecting another 80 ETFs to be approved in 2026. And you need to understand that the crypto ETFs from the ETF market, we are only having 1 to 2%. Okay, so the growth here, it's major. Okay, you can go for the short-term noise that the ETF is a seldom used, whatever, but that's short-term. And I'm not going to talk about short-term here today. Okay, I'm talking about long-term. I'm talking about 2026. And we need to understand that the market right now for the crypto ETFs, it's only 1 to 2% of the entire ETFs. Okay, so this is one of the reasons I'm looking for 2026 as a major bullish year. Okay, and I'll go to the charts also, and I'll tell you why structurally everything is okay, even if you are afraid. But that will be later. But this is one of the main reasons. Okay, and also I said in January, look for American-based projects or US-based projects. And let me show you this. Things are starting to pop right now. And I just want to pop this here so that you can see. We are going to start to see more of this, okay? ETFs of US-based projects. And these are the main ones, okay? The Dino coins. I don't know if I can talk about Dino coins. But these are the main ones, okay, except Bitcoin, unless someone knows Satoshi is, but I don't think so. So these are the main ones, and I've been saying this since 2025. The market is telling me what they want, what the winners are, okay? And I'm not talking about those short-term trades that we all take, that new shiny project that we buy, it does a 2-3x, we sell, whatever. No, I'm talking about the long-term vision, okay? And that's something I'm going to explain you here. Why? I'm going to show you some charts so that you can see why I'm telling this and why this strategy allowed me to have a green portfolio, even with all the drama in the market. So US-based projects, ETFs are coming, and this is a major catalyst for the market. I know you might not see it now, but it is, okay? And it will be, and history tells us this also. Now, I want to understand what you're facing right now, okay? Because what everyone was saying is that we'll have a massive crash in 2025. And we had some corrections, okay? But the market is still on track. The market is still on track. And I know that some of you are going to tell me that I'm selling you opium, that the market is green, that we're in the bear market. I might be wrong here. It's not financial advice, okay? But this has been my play since 2022. And if it works for me, in theory, it should work for you. I'm not going to tell you to buy or sell anything. I'm just going to tell you what I'm doing and what I'm seeing with data. I'm not going to hype nothing. I have data to show you, and this is what I'm going to show you. So you might not like the data if you are a bear, but it's what it is. So moving forward, you need to understand this, okay? And need to understand what's going to happen in 2026. And this is where we are right now. Let's just check this, okay? So we are having the biggest technological boom since the internet, okay? Since the internet. Fed is going to cut rates. That's a certain thing. That's nothing. No one thinks that the Fed is not going to, how can I say this? Not going to cut rates. It's going to happen, okay? Even with Powell there, it's going to happen. That's the new Fed, okay? In August, I said this, we might have a short bear market, if you want to call it, till Powell is replaced. I said this in August, then I didn't stand by that theory, but I did that analysis at the time, and I had a plan for that. So quantitative tightening is ending. It's not the quantitative easing starting. Two things are different, and also be aware that between quantitative tightening and quantitative easing, what happens between, we might not like it, that might be a short correction, or the correction we are going to have right now. US, Trump, the US president right now, it's the most market, the president has the most market awareness. He knows he wants the stocks at all-time high. He's been talking about crypto. I know that crypto price action is not doing what you want. But again, I'm not here to talk about short term, okay? And I'm going to show you the charts about thinking long term. And S&P yesterday closed, I think, like less than 1% for an all-time high. It will be the 7th all-time high this year. And we are going to have stimulus. Okay, we already know $2,000 for each American, etc. So this is the playbook for 2026. Just from the economic side. Just from the economic side, okay? And again, I'm not talking about short term, okay? If I'm going to talk about short term, I can tell you I'm short on Bitcoin. But I'm not bearish on the market, I'm trading. And with something you learned with me is that I can do both things. I can be bullish on the long term, and I've been trading every day, okay? So that doesn't mean I'm bearish, because I'm not bearish. And I'll go to the charts later, but this is something that I want to explain why for 2026, I'm bullish. And I'm really bullish for 2026. And leave your comments there, because then I will read your comments at the end of the show, let's say like this, when I show you what I want to show you. Now, one of the big things we are seeing right now is the shift in economic institutions on hedge funds, okay? Let's just listen to this, because I think it's really important that you understand what I'm trying to show you.
We're seeing more and more legitimate long-only investors investing in it. There was an article about a foundation, endowment just bought a lot of IBIT. But I can tell you there are a number of sovereign funds that are standing by. They're adding incrementally at 120, at 100. I know they bought more in the 80s. Right. That's fine. And they're establishing a longer position. And you own it over years. This is not a trade.
I'm not going to tell you that Larry Fink was wrong, whatever. We all know that, okay? What I'm going to tell you is how open Larry Fink now talks about sovereign funds buying Bitcoin. It's not the fact that he was wrong a few years ago, okay? We all have been wrong a lot of times. That's okay. He changed his mind, and that's a sign of someone that's smart, okay? He saw the potential, it changed, now he's making money from fees. So it's what it is. But how open Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, says to the audience, no, we have sovereign funds buying IBIT, the Bitcoin ETF. Do you see the shift here? It's not, how can I say this? You need to understand this on the details, and this is what I do, and I've been doing all my life. It's to pay attention to the details. And do you think he would say this, I don't know, 1 year ago that sovereign funds were buying his ETF like this on a conference? He wouldn't. He was afraid to say so. But now he's saying openly, this is happening. And this is something that, for me, it's turning me even more bullish, okay? And just not to say a lot, I don't want to be too bullish on my first show here because I am really bullish for the 2026. But you need to understand this, okay? You need to understand the shift that we are seeing. And even here, you have another shift, okay? The banks are now partnering with Coinbase and others for crypto pilots. We are seeing this, okay? They attacked it. They said it was, I don't know, so many things. But now they want a piece of the pie. And I know that price action might not be what you want because we are probably thinking short term. But think long term. This is what every one of us on 22 was dreaming. ETFs, banks embracing Bitcoin. Banks allowing for you to give Bitcoin as collateral. I don't agree with that, but that's adoption, okay? And that's happening right now, okay? So bear with me on this because I really want you to understand that 2026 for me is going to be a good year, even maybe longer, okay? But I'm just talking about 1 year from now because more than that, I think it will go to the prediction side, and I don't want to do that. But like I was saying, institutions are shifting. Okay, BlackRock talking openly about sovereign funds, banks, and you know this one, Vanguard. I'm not going to play the video. We all remember this. I remember saying on one of my shows, that I think this guy was no longer the CEO of Vanguard because he didn't allow to have crypto ETFs. But again, pay attention to the details here. Okay, in 2024, the CEO was saying they will never offer crypto ETFs. In 2025, they said we are going to offer tomorrow. Okay, it's not in 1 week, in 1 month. No. We are going to offer tomorrow. And it's just not Bitcoin, it's crypto ETFs. We saw that even HBAR, I don't know if I can talk about HBAR here, even HBAR had an ETF ready for any Vanguard customer to invest there. So it was not just Bitcoin, it was also crypto, okay? And I know if you're a Bitcoin maxi, I can tell you right now, you are not going to like my shows, okay? I'm straight to the point here. If you are going to, how can I say this? If you're a Bitcoin maxi, you are not going to like my shows. I have Bitcoin and I have altcoins. And I'm maxi of one thing, making money. That's it, okay? I'm not maxi of anything else, just making money. And I'll show you also why I think the returns now are more on the other side. And this is just a recap of what's happening this week, okay? This also, okay? Bank of America telling their private customers, you should allocate 1 to 4% to crypto. Again, not Bitcoin, paying attention to the details. You should pay attention. You should allocate 1 to 4% to crypto, okay? So, and this is just 1 week. This is just the last week. And someone usually say, always on my, but the price action is not going where we want. Okay. Just people, do you think that they start recommending now? Do you think they're going to allocate tomorrow? Things take time. People need to think. I said this about the ETFs when they launch. You need to wait. There'll be some hype, but funds, pensions, whatever, they need to check the ETFs, see if they can invest, do whatever internal procedures they need to do, and then they will invest in the ETFs. And now you are seeing that our pension funds buying ETFs. Okay, things take time. Okay, things take time and doesn't always, and it's not your time. Okay, it's the time they need to take. Now, one of the most bullish things I think it's happening right now for 2026, and I'll show you this one. It's this, and this is just my opinion. Okay, this is just my opinion. If we are going to have the midterms in 2026, and if is there any chance that the Democrats might be leading the race, Trump and the Republicans will do everything to win the midterms. And this is something that you need to be aware, okay? They will do anything to win the midterms. And they've been telling us, I think for 3 months already, look at 2026. Okay, Trump said we are going to have a strong 26. Scott Bessent said we are going to have a strong 26. Okay? This is what was happening. Okay? And they are telling us this. They are really telling us this, that we are going to have a strong 2026. So It's here. I can show you. They've been saying this for months. And when you start to connect the dots, you see, okay, maybe they want 26 to be strong here because of the midterms. Does this make sense to you? Let me know in the chat if this makes sense to you, okay? Tell me that. Tell me if this makes sense to you, okay? So I think this is something that is going to make 2026 a really, really good year, okay? And let's say a big year. And also, this was from this night, okay? There will be a new crypto bank from a billionaire, 𝗕𝗏𝗪𝗏, okay? Things are coming. They are going to take time. And even if I'm wrong, I might be wrong, I prefer to be on this side. Okay? I prefer to be on the side that's buying or that bought every dip, and I know I might pay a price, than being on the side that sold and saw the boat leave. Okay? But this is just me. And this is what I'm doing right now, and I'm sharing with you why I'm bullish. Now let's go to the charts, because I know everyone here likes charts, and I want to show you this, okay? I think it's important for you to understand why I'm not bearish. Let me just grab the chart here. Not this one, it's this one. So, look here. I know everyone is bearish, and I'm not on that crowd that says the top is in or the bottom is in, whatever. I don't play those games, okay? I see the chart, I have my invalidation points, and I have what I think it's entry or I should exit the market. And the day I exit, I'm going to tell you, okay? And I'm going to be super transparent with you. The day I exit, I will tell you, I'm out. So, we need to understand one thing, okay? This was April of 25. This was the first bear market this year. I think this is already the third one. And this was the first bear market of the year. And we had the low here, okay? We had the low here. And this was the beginning of the impulsive move. And if you go, we did an all-time high, whatever. And then it came lower to 80, 800 something, okay? We didn't touch 74. That's the beginning of the impulsive move. We did a lower low. So for me, this is just another correction. Like we had, I think I can show you here. This is another correction. It's not the first one of this year, and it's not the first one of this cycle, and it's like every other major correction, okay? Just to remind you that here, we were on the bear market too. Here, Bitcoin, this was Bitcoin ranging for a year, okay? From March to November 2024. And everyone was saying that Bitcoin was dead, altcoins were dead, whatever. Okay, so you will learn something on my shows, okay? I'll show you data. And what the data is telling me is that this correction is in line with the other previous correction, okay? With the other previous correction. In terms of structure, everything is okay. We could be even, right now, we did a higher low. Right now, we did a higher low. So, for spot holdings, you can be bearish, you can have your thesis, but this is what I'm seeing, and this is what I've been doing since 2022. It's structure. I don't care about EMAs, I don't care about indicators, I don't care about anything else. You can find a fractal to be bullish, you can find a fractal to be bearish, you can find the EMA or moving average, whatever you want to support your thesis, okay? But structurally, nothing can change. And here, it's what I have. If we break below 74, then I'll say, look, the structure is changing and I'm wrong. And I don't have any problem saying I'm wrong, okay? But this is what I'm seeing. Also, you saw here that I have these three arrows pointing to the lows. I want to show you this chart here. This is the USDT dominance plus the USDC dominance, okay? And these were our third major lows. Okay? So, when you look at this, it's not the best chart, I can tell you that. We might go lower, but if this has any accuracy, we might have our low in, okay? We need to see, we still have, I don't know, yeah, one day and a half, say like that, for this weekly close to happen tomorrow. But if this close below the resistance, I think we are okay and we are safe to say we have our low in, okay? If by any chance it starts to grind higher, then we might not have our low in, okay? Again, I'll show you. Our major lows are here in the chart. It's exactly what you are seeing here. It's exactly what you are seeing here, okay? But so far, this is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm seeing to know if, or to have an opinion if the low is in or not, okay? We rejected, like we did here. We went higher here, but I think we might come lower. And then if you look to the DXY and all the other ones, I think we might be grinding lower also, okay? But I don't look just at the USDT dominance, I look at both USDT and USDC, because USDC is starting to get a major role in the market. We are seeing more mints on the USDC treasury, so I think you should pay attention to both, okay? So if you want to screenshot this chart, go for it. I think you can do it. It's easy to do it, and you can see the major lows, the invalidation, the lows, and the bottom that might be in, and now this year, okay? I think it's easy. Let me know if you understand what I'm trying to explain you here on the chart. So now I want to show you this, okay? Because this was a major shift, and I just want to give you some charts because I think it will be, you are liking some chart info. And then we're going to look to potential trades, whatever, because I trade also, like I told you. But I want you just to know this. I'm not going to play the entire video because it's too long, but I want to tell you this, okay? I've been a big fan of tokenization. I think it's where crypto will shine, okay? I don't know which project will be the one that will be shining in the tokenization part. I'm not going to tell you about that. I'm talking that the real role of crypto, the real potential of crypto for me is tokenization, okay? And I think it's going to have a great role, and that's where the industry will shine. And this was also this night, okay? Like I said, I'm not going to play the video, it's too long, but this is the SEC chairman saying all US markets will be on chain within 2 years. Within 2 years. And if you think that this is bearish for the market, I don't agree with you, but I respect your opinion, okay? I will always respect your opinion, but I will not agree with that. When you have the chairman of the SEC that is pro-crypto telling you everything is going on chain, that everything is going on chain, and you are bearish, I would love to listen why, okay? Because we are now seeing everything going on chain, and I think people only focus on the price and they all want altcoins to go higher. Look, I want altcoins to go higher also, but I know also that altcoins usually they go up in the last 10-20% of the cycle. 10-20% of the cycle, and we are not even there, okay? So I'm a bull. I like to do these sessions here because I think for those that are scared, it shows some relief. And if I'm wrong, we all cry together. I'll do a live stream saying, look, I was wrong. Let's cry together, bring your tissue, okay? But this is what I've been doing. Now, I want to tell you my strategy, okay? And I will show you my strategy and why my portfolio is on the green, okay? I'm not going to tell you to buy or sell anything, okay? I'm not, even the tokens I'm going to mention now are just an example. Do not buy anything without researching, without studying, and decide if it's worth your investment, okay? What I'm going to do right now, it's explaining why, when the time came, I was on the green. And with this correction, I'm still on the green. That's why I cannot be bearish, okay? So let's go to here and let's grab this one. I know Run likes HBAR, so let's grab HBAR. Let's go for the spot chart. And let's go here. I want to show you this, okay? This is the weekly chart of HBAR. Weekly chart of HBAR. And I was mocked and made fun because I've been on X saying, and you should follow me on X, that I was a big believer in HBAR. And I am. I'm not going to the fundamentals today, but I am. But you saw that HBAR was ranging, I don't know, from 3 cents to maybe 8 cents, 9 cents, like this here, okay? Here. Then it had some went up, whatever, and came down. And this was a major accumulation move, okay? A major accumulation move. Again, this is the weekly chart. This is from 2022 to 2024. And I was getting this. And I was buying this, and I didn't care. I was sharing. I'm buying, of course, not here when it was going higher. I have an average price below 4 cents. And this is just an example. I'm not going to buy or sell HBAR right now. I'm just giving an example. This was an accumulation period. And when Trump won the elections, this happened. It did a 750% in 2 months. 2 months. Nothing else. Okay? 750%. And people say, and this is where, if you pay attention to X, everyone is bearish, everyone has an opinion, whatever. But look at this. If we bought from here and we ignore the noise because you study the project, whatever, in 2 months, I think even lower than 2 months, but let's say 2 months, you did 800% with a safe bet, and you had all this time to accumulate. This for telling something. I like to buy the depression, like I told you. I love when the market is like it is right now, because that's when I make money. And now, what I'm looking, it's for charts like this. It's for charts like this. This is what I want to see. I want to see charts that are like this, and that have fundamentals, that the team is still building. One of the things that I did, let me tell you this story. In 2017, when I got in crypto, I was wrecked. I lost everything. I bought the top. Then I learned. I paid the price. And then I've been learning since then. So I've lost a lot of money in crypto, and I've made a lot of money in crypto. And what I understood is like projects that are here, multi-cycle, that despite of the bear of the bull, they are still building. And they are doing what they're supposed to do, usually are the safe bets. Usually are the safe bets, okay? So I've been buying HBAR since 2022. I already told you this is one of the charts. Now let me go grab another good project. I think you all know, because I want to talk to you about compression, okay? Look at this. This is what I'm looking right now. Okay? I'm just giving you examples of what is compression on the crypto market. This is XRP. I don't know if you know this project called XRP, this token. Probably you don't. It's not very well known. But look at this. Look at this. It's going like this for, I don't know. This is since 2022. We can go lower, but whatever. It was like this, okay? Since 2022. And again, look what happened here. When they released the compression, it popped higher. It popped higher. Look, it went from 50 cents to $3.68. And I don't know, like we can see. But I think it was, and let's say 260 days maybe. Yeah, this is one, yeah, 6 months. More than 6 months, sorry. But it went from 50 cents to $3, then it $3.38, corrected, and then it went for an all-time high. And it's not because it's XRP. I'm just telling you, it's the chart, okay? I'm giving you the example of the chart and what I'm looking, okay? And what I'm looking. So when I see a chart like this, what I do is check the team, if they are still building, if they are still here, and then I want to go for it, okay? Then I'll place my bet. Could it go lower here? Of course. Could it go to 0? 0 is the strongest support, always, always. But if the team is building, and if you do a research, every time you invest, it can be crypto, stocks, precious metal, whatever, right? There's always the risk of the downside. That's why we study and do our thing. And this is what I've done. So this is what I'm looking right now, and this is what I want to show you right now. This is what I want to look for. So let's imagine I can get a clean chart. Let's talk about curve. Because curve is another one that everyone said it is dead. It kind of reminds me of XRP, to be honest. And I'm just giving you the chart. I'm not telling you to buy or sell anything, okay? I'm just telling you, if you compare the XRP chart, if you compare the HBAR chart, look at this one, okay? I know that you are going to say it's a DeFi Dino coin. I love Dino coins. I even have a t-shirt with that. But this is the kind of short that I like. Okay, why? I can tell you why. The downside is limited. Okay, look, the week on the 10th of October went to 21 cents. Right now it's at 38 cents. Okay, the upside, if the team stays building like they have, they have much stronger upside than they have downside. Okay, then they have downside, and we have more chart. This is just an example. Okay, I'm not telling to buy or sell anything. I'm just giving an example of how I made money since 2022, and what my strategy is. It's to look for charts like this. It's easy. When you look for charts like this and you saw the potential, look at this. I think it's here. Let me see if I can show you. Pure bear market. Here, I will show you here. This was a pure bear market here. Okay? Pure one. And look what happened here. It went from, I think, 48 cents to $1.30 in a bear market. Okay? So, this is the kind of chart that I like. This is the kind of chart that I'm looking for. And you have a lot like this. And if you start to watch my shows, we are going to find a lot more like this. Okay, but again, I'm not telling you to buy or sell anything. I'm just telling you I just told you my strategy. So I don't care about the short-term price action. I like these corrections. I like that that some altcoins are like this because I believe, and this is my conviction, that 2026 is going to be bullish. Okay, so there's a place to be bullish. There's a place to be bearish here. I'm giving you my opinion with data why I'm not bearish, okay? Why I have my spot holdings that for me are long term. I can even tell you this. I have a spot holding for 2030, okay? For 2030. I have that, okay? So, and I'm not touching that. I'm not touching it at all. But for this cycle, I have my portfolio. I'm on the green. And this is what I'm looking for. And this is what I want. Someone on the chat is saying that chart looks dead. Exactly. That's what I want. I want charts that look dead, but the team is still built. This is the sentiment that I love on the chart. This comment just validated what I'm telling you here. Because if you go back, even for Solana, and I was a big critic of Solana, Solana had the most bearish chart at all on 2022. It was kind of like this, and then it popped, like we know. We need this, okay? We need people to say that this is dead, and I'm going to agree with you. A lot of these projects probably are dead. But if the team is building, and it's still active, and if you understand the project, let's see, okay? But I love this. This is the kind of chart that I like, the kind of sentiment that I like, okay? I really like this. You need to look at fundamentals, and pay attention to what I said. You look for the chart, and you research. If the team is building, if the team is doing what they are supposed to do, and this is just an example, okay? You decide if you invest or not. It's easy. You just need to pay attention to what I'm saying. I'm not telling you to buy or sell anything. I'm telling you my strategy. And again, if it works for me, in theory, it should work for you. Okay? So I wanted to share this with you so that you can understand the strategy. I'm not going to look for more charts like this, but thank you. You just validated my opinion. And yeah, that's kind of the things that I like to read in this case, not to listen. Now let's look at Bitcoin. And I want to do just a quick analysis of Bitcoin. So I can show you. I was short on Bitcoin. Let me know you're seeing this chart. So I was short on Bitcoin. I think it was 2 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. And I opened a long yesterday, okay? I was not expecting to go this lower. My first TP was around 90K. It came lower, then I decided to go long, okay? And this is something that I think, if you go check last weekends, we had Friday dump, Friday dump, Saturday chop, and Sunday pump, okay? So I'm long on Bitcoin right now, just because I have the short open, okay? So I'm not taking any risk. Let's say like this, I have an edge. So, but right now I think we might see some, let's say, relief on the market. We might go higher. I would say around, I would love it to go to 94. I don't think it's going to break 94 on the weekend. But yeah, so far I'm looking for at least 90 and then 92. Okay, this is a major resistance that I want to see break. It couldn't hold this resistance as support, so I'll be careful here. But right now, I'm long on Bitcoin, and if you want to try to long it, just have a short stop loss. Okay, I'm not going to tell you to trade on the weekend, but this is a trade I took yesterday, and yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident with it. So, but also I don't have any real risk because I still have the short open. Okay, and this is just for Bitcoin. I think we might go higher. I think we might try to go for the 92, and until we break 92, I think we are going just to be in the chop zone. Okay, if you go here, this is where you have been chopping, nothing else. Okay, we might have done on a shorter time frame a higher low and a higher high. We might go for higher, but now we really want to make a higher high. So we need to break 92, 93, and yeah, let's see if this long plays out. Okay, but just for you to be aware of this. Just for you to be aware that this is my trade and this is what I'm doing right now, okay? Regarding Ethereum, and I've been saying this for a lot of time, I think Ethereum is going to outperform Bitcoin. At least that's what I think is going to happen in the next days, weeks, let's say like this. Might be wrong though. So I have this long on Ethereum. I've been waiting for this long for almost a week, if I'm not mistaken. But if Ethereum doesn't move, I'll close it. Okay, so again, Ethereum did something really important. It was to reclaim the $3,000. Okay, it reclaimed those resistance. It's holding as support, and if we can hold the $3,000, probably you can go higher. You can try some range trading here, knowing that it will get out the range sometime one day. But yeah, that's what I kind of was hoping here, doing some range trading from 3,000 to 3,200. That's what I'm hoping. But like I said, if I see weakness on the market, it's weakened, no volume, etc., I will prefer to close this trade than to take a stop loss. Okay, I don't like to lose money, even on my spot holdings, despite I'm bullish. So yeah, I waited for this for I think it was more than 2 days, way more. And now I'm on the trade, but I will be closing if I see some weakness. Okay, but I do believe that the move is up. I do believe we are going up, but Saturday has been a choppy day, so just pay attention to that, okay? Now, can I talk about XRP? Do you have anyone holding XRP here? I'll go later to that one. I want to talk about Link, okay? I'm on this long on Link, another one that I waited for a long time, but this one I will exit, okay? I think Link at the ETF hype, it was one of the best ones. One of the best ETFs launch that we had in the space for crypto. So yeah, I think I was hoping that it could hold the support, but now it's showing some weakness. And to be honest, I'm thinking of flipping short on Link, okay? I'm long, but if it's keep doing like this and I don't see some volume and some good green candle, then I'm going to flip short on Link. Okay, it's the only short I'm willing to take. The only one. It's the only short I'm willing to take. But yeah, I think you are seeing some, how can I say this? Some weakness that I don't like after the ETFs. Probably some people are selling it was a sell and use, like they always are at the beginning. So yeah, I'm thinking about closing this one. So no one likes XRP here. So I'm going to talk about XRP. So I think XRP might be going for a great trade. Okay, we had reactions here at the $2 level. I'm long since 182. If you want to try to take a long here, there will be worse trades to take for sure. But it's Saturday. Okay, since it's Saturday, just be aware that have a small stop loss, and yeah, maybe XRP can react from here. If not, losing this support in the other one is clear. So I think this, if it wasn't weakened, I'll be more certain about this. Okay, but right now I think XRP might provide you a good scalp trade. And another thing about me that you'll learn, I prefer scalps over swing trades. Okay. And the 10th of October was an example why you should not take swing trades. And how can I say? I prefer to do a scalp, and even for my mental health. Okay, I have my trading hours, and when the day ends, I don't care if I'm at a loss or if I'm at a profit, I'm out. I'm completely out, okay? I'm telling you this again. I don't care if I'm at a profit or at a loss. I have my trading hours, and I close it, okay? That's what I do. And that's the most, and then I sleep well, and I want to sleep well. That's why I'm in this space, is to make money, so I don't have any financial problems and I can sleep well. So, and this is, I don't like to have trades open during the night when I'm awake. So this is another one. Now I want to talk about XLM. XLM is struggling to go again, to crash this resistance. And I think this area here will be a good trade, okay? This here might be a good trade. So I have an alert here for XLM. It's range trading, as you can see here. So if it comes to these levels around 23.5, even lower, between 22, 23, I'll be looking for longs, okay? This is why I have an alert. Because I want to have, how can I say this? I want to have I want to be exposed to the breakout, okay? I want to be exposed to the XLM breakout, and I think we are going to have a breakout really soon. So, yeah, because I believe it's the upside, okay? No, not plasma coin. This is a stellar lumens, okay? It's not the plasma. XLM, not plasma, okay? But you have a range trading here, and right now, taking a long now, it's risky. We still have the Gandalf line here, so just be careful. And yeah, look at XLM. Set your alerts, because when XLM pops, it pops harder, okay? And it's a good trade usually. Usually it's a good trade. So let's now check. Let me read some comments here. And let me see. And let me know from where you are watching. I always like to map the audience. Okay. Let me see. Great new show, Pedro. I think viewers need more educational shows. Thank you. Not everyone will like my shows. I'm okay with that. Okay, like not everyone like that I'm a bull, but I'm a bull. So also just one thing. Banter and I launched the Portuguese Banter. Okay, so if you speak Portuguese or you like Portuguese content, follow us. You have the link on the description. I go live every day, every single day except weekends, and maybe I'll start to go on weekends also. But now there's the Portuguese Banter. Follow us because yeah, that's where you'll see me being a bull every day. So let me see more. Let's fucking go. Wait, I don't know if I can say this. Yes, structure is still in. That's why I'm saying this. Okay, that's why I said this here. If you go here, I think it's this chart here, there's nothing to be worried. Okay, and again, I'm not in the top is in or the bottom is in crowd. That's not for me. Okay, alt season. I hope so. Yeah, I'm betting on alt season. You know, when you've been here, as long as I did, you know that altcoins are always dead. Always. Okay, always dead. Altcoins are always dead. There will never be an alt season. This year, the narrative is that there's no money for altcoins because of there's, I don't know, thousands of coins. But let me just tell you this, okay? It might be might be thousands of coins, but utility coins, that's why most of my portfolio are. Since 2021, there are only 40% new utility coins. Okay? Just be aware of this. And guys, please leave some like on the show. Okay, I have, I don't know, 200 people watching and 95 likes. And don't come here when you see something breaking out that I show you today. So, yeah, it's the crying. If I'm wrong, we are going to cry together. I'm okay with this. So, guys, I was joking about XRP. I know XRP is well known, okay? So, and I know people don't like XRP. And like I told you in the beginning, I'm not an XRP maxi, I'm not an 𝗕𝗓𝗍 Bitcoin maxi, whatever. I'm a maxi of making money. So that's what I like to do. Let me see here. Thanks for all your work. Thank you. So I have people watching from Portuguese. I can swear in Portuguese. Okay, awesome. So, like I said, for the weekend, just remember that usually weekends, Friday, dump, we Saturday chop, and weekends, we Sunday pumps, okay? I don't know if it's going to be the case right now. I'm long, and I have a short as an edge. I'm going to close probably my link trade because it's showing a lot of weakness. Yeah, I don't like this. It's kind of bear flag, so probably I'm going to close it. Then if I see a short here, I'm going to short it, and that's it. I hope you enjoyed, guys. My first show here on Banter. I want to thank the Banter team for the trust, for helping me setting up the show and everything. New challenge, and like I said, therapy sessions. If you are a bear, this is not a good therapy for you. But if you are scared of the market, if you want to see someone, in my case, that is still bullish and explaining why with data, I think you'll like my shows. See you all next week.